Hi everyone, in this video I'll be showing how to solve linear and quadratic equations using different programming languages, and we're basically gonna just recall the general form of linear equation at this point, which is a times x plus b equals to 0 or equals to c, and x equals to minus b over a. And for the quadratic equation we have a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals to 0, and then we calculate the discriminant, which equals to b squared minus 4 times a times c. And then we calculate the roots of the equation, which are equal to minus b plus slash minus to square root of d over 2a. We're going to use this formula for all of our code.
In every language, the first step
let's get
is
started. We're going to start from Python.
Of variables, and in Python, I just write input and convert it to number with float, so the system can understand me. And then I write the conditions and apply the formula. And then I try to run the formula, and it works, so it's okay.
Next, we're going to do almost the same thing about our quadratic equation, except we need to also import math for the square root of discriminant. Again, we identify variables. Here we have 3 variables. Then we just state our constant, which is d equals to b squared minus 4 times a times c. And then we write the conditions. The first condition, in case of which there are 2 constants, x1 and x2, and the system should print that there are 2 real solutions. We also add f, so it can format the text and write both the text and the constants. And then we write the second condition, the third condition, and end it. Try to run the system. It works, so everything is okay. It works for all of the cases, by the way. Next, let's move on to the same equation on C++.
Here we start writing
again,
we open, which is a general compiler, and then we write we're going to use std, and then we again just write our variables, then write the condition. In this case, double means that the variables are going to be numbers. Then we write the constant, which is x, and that is also going to be a number. We finish the condition, and here instead of print, we type count, because that's the syntax for C++. And yeah, we just write conditions for different cases, and this is it.
Check if it works, and that's okay.
Next, we're going to do nearly the same thing for the quadratic equation, except we're also going to include C math again for the square root function. And then we write our variables. Here we have 3 variables. Ask the user to type in the variables, then write the condition, the thing that should happen after the condition, again printing that that is not a quadratic equation, for example, if a is equal to 0. And then we write our constant, which is discriminant, our next constants that are going to be x1 and x2, and then for the second condition is going to be x. And we end it, return to 0. Compile, because in case of C++, you always have to compile your files, and then check it. It works for all of the cases, so it's okay. Next, we're moving on to Java. Again, we're going to do the same thing as for the other languages. Everything is the same. The algorithm is the same, except the syntax is different, and that's just a matter of time to learn the syntaxes for each of the languages. We import whatever we need to import, which is in this case Java util scanner. We give it a class, which is going to be called linear1. We make it public. Then here, as you can see, instead of print, we write system out print. We ask the user to print in the variables. We write the condition, the second condition, and basically we close the file, save it, and after that we need to run the file and see if it works. And don't forget about compiling.
Again, we keep doing the same thing for the quadratic equation, except I have to admit in this case I made a mistake in the beginning and added an extra tab, and then I obviously fixed it later. Here we also write our variables, write our constants, the conditions, and then compile the file and see if it works for all of the cases.
Next is gonna be TCL, which is a bit more understandable and easier rather than C++ and Java. Again, here we ask the user to write in the variables, and then for the quadratic equation we do the same thing in the beginning, then add the discriminant, our constant, the expression for it, then the condition for it, then try to run it without a typo, and see if it works for all of the cases. Last but not least is going to be Lua. Do the same thing. This is extremely easy to understand. Again, we write all the variables, convert them into numbers, write the condition, and try to run it. You don't need to compile anything here. Go and do the same thing for the quadratic equation. Add a constant, add the conditions, and don't forget about the formulas we recalled in the beginning. And this is it. This is extremely understandable and clear. There's nothing you can do wrong in this thing. Try it for all of the cases.